So I need to be talking today about Ethereum and most importantly, staked Ethereum, but I'm going to delve more into Celsius. So yesterday, if you haven't seen it, make sure you go back and watch that video. We were talking all about staked Ethereum and really what the whole situation was and breaking down a number of different bits that we've seen on the internet, how much of it was fact and how much of it wasn't. Now I want to look at, can this whole staked Ethereum Celsius liquidity pool crash the price of Ethereum? Now, it already has had a massive impact. Now, had this news of the whole Celsius thing not really been an issue, I think we would have had a lot less of an impact on a particular story that came out today. So this is what I want to show you. This is just the current price at the moment. Very, very sad chart, unfortunately. This is the 4-hourly, and it's just very much been a very one-way street. But what I was mentioning was this bit of news that we see here. Ethereum slides to $1,500 as core developers announce delays. Now, this is bad news, obviously. It doesn't kind of inspire huge amounts of confidence in the minds of investors who are looking to get in on the Ethereum 2.0 hype, should we say, because obviously this now means it's going to be delayed and that there's issues and it might not work as well as was promised. Now, I will say the official stance from Ethereum is that it's still going to go ahead at the agreed date during August, I should say. So that hasn't really been, changed. But core developers announced that there have been delays. Now, the reason why this is an issue is at the moment, we are going through a very tumultuous time for Ethereum because we have everybody talking about Celsius. This is a liquidity pool where you essentially trade one Ethereum for a staked Ethereum, and and the issue, I should say, it's very simple. What you do is you give Ethereum, you get staked Ethereum back. Once the merge happens, you give your staked Ethereum and you get your Ethereum back again, plus all the nice capital gains, and you get a 4% yield. So that's pretty good. But the issue that we've been seeing is that if you give one Ethereum, you get more than one staked Ethereum, which actually sounds like quite a good investment, Oh, boom, if I do this, I'm up about $60. Very nice. But if you give one staked Ethereum, you're not getting your one Ethereum back. So let's say before, when this was a one-to-one peg, which is what it's always supposed to be, you give one Ethereum, you get one staked Ethereum, but now you want to get out of it and you give one staked Ethereum, but you're losing money for every one that you give back. Now, Alameda, FTX, I will say, they're Alameda, but it's FTX, it's Sam Bankman-Fried. These are the guys behind it. These guys did that and they liquidated 50,000 Ethereum at a massive loss. Now, the reason why people are worried is because we have this. This is the state of the liquidity pool, basically. Only 155,000 Ethereum and 513,000 staked Ethereum. Not a good balance. So if everybody wants to come and get their Ethereum out, there's just simply not enough, which is bad. So just a quick update on the whole situation. This is the volume that we're seeing. Obviously, huge amounts of volume as this hits the press. More and more people are talking about it. And so this is where we want to kind of have a look and see, yes, obviously, as the news goes by. This was a massive pump because of the whole crash that we saw with Luna. This is where it was almost depegged and had a bit of instability. But to be honest, the instability hasn't really been as bad as what it is now. And the volume's not actually that much. But I do want to say, guys, so Lido are the ones who take your Ethereum and they give you a staked Ethereum. These are the guys, so it's Lido who actually provide the staked Ethereum once you give them. But the way in which you do that is you have to have a pool of money. Usually it looks a little bit like this. Let me just share my screen. I've got a nice pictorial here for you, which you're probably not going to be able to read. You have a nice pool. This is a liquidity pool. So this is where you have 50% Ethereum here, and then you have 50% staked Ethereum. This is at the beginning. And then obviously, initially, everyone's like, oh, this is amazing. So I can give my Ethereum. I still get all of the capital gains, i.e. the price goes up. I still get to get that out later on. Plus, I get my 4%. Oh, my geez. I'm just going to forgive. I'm not even going to try to play that off. Plus, you get your nice little 4% APR in return. So you get a yield on your money plus the capital gains. All you have to do is lock it up until the Ethereum 2.0 merger, which is definitely going to happen. So that's fantastic. But then everyone starts doing this, and then you end up with lots of Ethereum and not very much staked Ethereum, which kind of seems okay. And then so the price of Ethereum goes down. You end up then with a lot of people, primarily Alameda, for example, they begin to start shedding their positions. So what does that look like? So what we see, and I'll just bring you back onto this news here, is Alameda recently redeemed 50,000 staked ETH for normal Ethereum. And the worries are that this will affect the staked Ethereum / Ethereum peg. So obviously, like I said, it's 1-to-1. Now, the whole issue around this is that there are numerous different big investors. Now, these big investors might want to be able to pay back the yield that they're supposed to be giving to their investors. But if they don't have enough money, i.e. enough liquid cash, they cannot. Now, this is quite a bad time. I want to show you this little article from BlockFi. So, and this is, I'm going to go straight into why Celsius could be in trouble here. BlockFi agrees to pay 100 million in penalties and pursue registration of its crypto lending product. They had a crypto lending product that they hadn't really covered and cleared with the SEC, and so they got fined $100 million. Now, Celsius has been in a number of different scandals, I should say. And also they've been hacked numerous times. They lost 70 million in one, they lost 50 million in a different one. And everybody's now concerned, will the SEC, especially if there's worries about Celsius going bankrupt and people not being able to get their money out, will the SEC begin to look into Celsius and then consequently give them a massive fine? And if they do, how much liquidity does Celsius have? I covered off the liquidity in yesterday's video, so make sure you go and watch that. I'm not going to go through it again, but I just want you to be able, be aware that people are now looking into Celsius with a much more of a, I guess, a fine-tooth comb and seeing these links. Well, BlockFi, they were in trouble. And then also, there was another company previously called CredEarn. They had a very similar model than Celsius, and they ultimately went bust. So this new financial product will allow holders of digital assets to earn interest on these holdings. Hello, APR, 4%. Here we go. Customers will now be able to earn up to 10%. Obviously, this is for CredEarn, 10% APY on select digital assets that they maintain within their Uphold wallet or they maintain within their staked ETH account. Just keep that in mind. And then everyone's wondering what happened with CredEarn. Just got this ominous email. So obviously this is 2 years ago. These guys are bust now, and this is their website. So it's not great. And then what people begin to think is, well, right, if this is an issue that we're seeing here, let's go back onto here. So here we go. Delete that, make it easier for everyone. If this is an issue, and if this depegs, and if Celsius don't have enough liquidity to pay their guys, what's going to happen? Well, let's have a look at some of their fine print, because this is where everyone got a bit worried about, Coinbase saying, Coinbase, they're going to take all of our money if we go into solvency or we go bankrupt. If Celsius go bankrupt, this is what we need to look at. Celsius is not a bank, depository introduced in custodian or fiduciary, and the assets in your Celsius account are not insured by any private or government insurance plan, nor are they covered by any compensation scheme. So basically, if you lose them, they're gone. See you later. Holding, trading, and using crypto assets carry significant risks. Please be careful and read our disclosure page. No one's going to read that. And this is where I have done you a solid. So Celsius does not provide any financial, legal, tax advice, nor should this website be viewed, blah, 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 blah. But I have gone and I've read their risk disclosure, and look what I have found. So they're talking about their obligations, we're going to give you your money back. However, by engaging with Celsius, you acknowledge that there is a risk that Celsius may become unable to repay its obligations to its creditors in which case your funds may be lost in part or in whole, or in part. Either way, you could lose all of your money. That is essentially what they're saying if they cannot repay its obligations to its creditors. Now, what have Celsius done? They have gone and they have taken loans out in order to be able to pay this dividend, or this, the yield that they're supposed to be paying to the people who are investing. Now, so much so that they have a crazy amount. Let me bring this up. It's on here somewhere. Oh, this is what I wanted to show you earlier. So Lido, just to kind of clarify, Lido, I said earlier, they are not the same as Celsius. Keep that in mind. And they're not the same as Curve. So no, look, as you can see here, diving into option one, so there are two options basically. Either sell their ETH in order to become more liquid, their staked ETH. Their position is around 450,000 staked ETH. They have loads of staked ETH. Why don't you just sell that and then you have loads of ETH? Well, I mean, let's have a look at the pool. So you kind of can't. Like, you can't. That can't be done. You can only get back 156. And if Celsius start trying to do this, well, everyone's going to start trying to do this, aren't they? That is the issue here. And so it says 242. When was this posted, guys? This was posted 2 days ago. 2 days. And it's already gone down. 242. Where are we now? 156. That's like 90,000 Ethereum. That's a disgusting number. What is that? That's like 90,000. Oh, mate, that's an unbelievable amount of money. This is crazy, the numbers that we're seeing here. So basically, they have two different options: either sell their staked ETH, which obviously they can't really get enough money, or the other option, I believe, there's quite a nice little thing up here. Have I gone past it the other way? I believe it's this way. So the second option here is to take a loan out against their staked Ethereum. But they already have over $1 billion in debt, and Aave has up to $2.5 billion in debt. So this is just not really, they might, and this is where everyone's worried. People don't really understand exactly what is going on. But this might have an effect on Ethereum, and this is why we're really kind of here, is to see what's happening to the price of Ethereum. Yes, we have this massive bit of downward pressure. I think a lot of that is because we have everything that's going on with Celsius, with Curve, with this depegging. If we get to a point where we're at 0.85, this is where all the people who have done kind of yield farming on this, and I'll explain that in a second, this is where they're all going to be kind of priced out, and we'll see a massive push, and the depeg will go crazy. Price of Ethereum will go down massively. But this bit of bad news wouldn't have been as bad had it, not come coupled with all of this. But I'm going to quickly jump into something else first. Let me show you back here. Boom, boom. Here we go. You're going to see my lovely handwriting. You better be ready for it. Here we go. So let me just double check I got some. So what we have here is, okay, so here's the original pool, let's say. We have the original pool. Fantastic. Great. Then, obviously, we have loads of ETH because everyone's like, oh, okay, you know what, take my ETH. But then people start backing out of it. They've got a bit of their gains. They're happy with it. They might not like it, but then they start selling. So then what we end up with is, as these big institutions and retail investors start to just essentially want their ETH back, they're then taking Ethereum, as you see here. They start taking Ethereum out of the liquidity pool and giving back that staked Ethereum. And this is then why, so when you have a oversupply of staked Ethereum, which we're pretty much at 75%, 25% Ethereum, we then have, so people don't want that staked Ethereum, i.e. it becomes discounted. Now, they have to discount it because the algorithm tries to encourage a 50-50 ratio, hence why the price is dropping. Now, if enough people keep putting their staked Ethereum in, this Ethereum will get to like 10% Ethereum, 90% staked Ethereum, and then that's where the price of staked Ethereum will drop down. Now, if we drop down to around $0.85, the Aave liquidations will set in massively. And this is one thing that I think we all need to kind of be aware of here. So I do think that you'll have a lot of bots, you'll have a lot of these, these kind of Wall Street guys looking at Ethereum. Because if you buy a staked Ethereum, you're getting a full Ethereum back from Lido after the merge is done. So it's an absolute no-brainer to buy, right? It does seem that way, but with the kind of the liquidity farming, so from Aave, the way that so many people have kind of leveraged, shall we say, is they take they get a staked Ethereum, they then have their staked Ethereum, they then stake it somewhere, but then they have about 60% or so, depending on how much is in the liquidity pool. You can then give your asset, and then you get back, let's say, 60% of your asset. And then you put that back in that 60%, that smaller percentage, put it back into the liquidity pool, and then you get back 60% of that. So you can end up from just putting in $1, you get 60 cents back, and then you put that back into the pool. So you've now got $1.60 in the pool. And so from that 60 cents, you then get another 60% of 60 cents. So then you put it in, and within 3 goes, you've kind of got like $2 when actually you only started with 1, and you're getting 4% return on that $2. And that's where we end up with this whole kind of leveraged farming. And that's where the liquidations will set in once we get to $0.85. So yes, here are the 2 different options. Celsius can either sell its staked ETH at a discount, meaning they lose money, or leverage traders. So this is, I just wanted to quickly kind of show you that there and what it means really. But I'll bring you back up onto good old Twitter. There we go. Always has the news. But you can see here. So once we do end up with too much staked Ethereum in the pool, we're going to end up, it's kind of no different than buying the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust at a massive discount, because you're going to get an Ethereum after the merge if you believe the merge is going to happen, which for a project as big as Ethereum, I think, of course, it is. Now, we do have to have a look. Alex Mashinsky, he's obviously he's the head. He's the number one guy, co-founder and CEO of Celsius. So he's been defending it very, very heavily. And so, Dirty Bubble Media, they've come out in the last 30 days. Celsius borrowed at least 76 million USDC, 18 million USDT to pay withdrawals. So this is 29% of total sent out from known Celsius hot wallets. And this, a fair play to Alex. He's come out and he's actually trying to defend the project and just saying, look, this is actually not true, or, kind of twisting it in a way that provides the right story. And another thing that people are saying is, well, actually, Celsius are going to have to start selling everything. So this is where there's a bit of the saving grace. I'm going to open up a couple of these wallets for you. Let's just have a look at these. These are the 2 biggest ones. We'll open up this one as well. So these are the top 3 from the treasury. Let's have a look at the team. Let's go for this one for the sake of randomness. User balances, I don't know, let's go this one, 26. That's very high. And then this very small one. So the top 3, these are, remember, going to be the treasury. So it's good that they post their wallets publicly. They're not selling right now, so they don't need to sell in order to facilitate. And again, they haven't sold on this wallet. So this is the second one from the treasury, third one from the treasury. This is the slightly smaller one. So 11 days ago, they did take out some. So, take this as you will. These have all gone to different addresses. So, I haven't gone through and tracked these, but, we're seeing that they're pretty much diamond handing it. Where were the next ones? So this was then from the team. So from the team, this guy might be selling a little bit. Yeah, he's overall quite, that's quite a lot. Yeah, so honestly, this was initially massive. The outflows are not that much. And they were a long time ago. So that doesn't make me think that this is like a massive capitulation from the guys internally. I have reached my maximum limits of requests. But this whole news is very much pulling down the price of Ethereum. People are worried, because this is supposed to be a one-to-one. This is supposed to be UST type of stuff, mess that one up. So this is supposed to be the same stuff that what we saw from, Luna. And that's why people are concerned. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be as bad I think this is going to weigh down very heavily in the short term. In the long term, I think this is going to go back to normal. But at the moment, just looking at this, staked Ethereum is worth $1,402, and then normal Ethereum is worth 1,461. So it's not great. Like I said, short term, I think we're seeing more downside. Long term, I think that the Ethereum, the Ethereum merge is going to go ahead. I think this bit of news is going to kind of go to the wayside. And even if Celsius can't pay, I think that once the depegging happens, we're going to get to such a low level of actual ETH in the mining pool, or the liquidity pool, that we're just going to end up having loads of people come in and buy a staked ETH. If you can buy a staked ETH for $800 and you're convinced that normal ETH is not going to go below, let's say, 1,000, 1,200, then you've saved yourself $400 immediately, because you're going to be able to redeem that for a normal Ethereum after the merge, which is probably where there's going to be a lot of growth, because once the merge is, done, everyone's going to be like, oh, this is amazing. Institutional investors will get in. So Ethereum's going to grow in price. I think if staked ETH gets very, very low, I personally might put a bit of money in. I, might buy an ETH. It's like almost $1,000. It's okay. Maybe just to try it out. But I would say, don't do it with any money that you can't afford to lose. And let me know down in the comments whether you agree with the analysis and overview. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys.